Welcome back, guys. In this video we're going to look at the roof for our project. The first thing we're going to do is revise our column sizing. So I'm just going to select one of the columns. I'm going to edit type, and then I'm going to rename this to 160 by 160 millimeters, and then hit OK. And then I'm going to resize it to 160, tab, and then type in 160 again. So this should sit nicely within our walls, and then hit OK. And then with that revised, I'm going to adjust all of the columns to be within the walls. Okay, so now that the columns are done, I'm going to add a roof to our project. So under the architecture tab, the build panel, I'm just going to select the roof drop down. Then I'm going to do roof by footprint. I'm going to make sure I select the line tool, and then I'm also going to offset this by 600 millimeters. And then I'm going to draw the outer boundary of my roof. The next thing I'm going to do is select the long edge of my roof. Then I'm going to click on Define Slope. I'm also going to change that slope to 25 degrees and press Enter. I'm also going to leave the base offset from level at 3 meters or 3000 millimeters. And then select the Finish Edit button. I'm also going to attach my walls to this roof. So I'm going to select the Attach button. And that's going to automatically attach any walls underneath that roof to the roof. Let's go back into 3D. One last thing that we need to do for our roof is to attach all of the columns. So I'm going to select one of them, right click, select all instances visible in view, and then I'm going to select the attach top base button. Make sure that the top button is selected, and then I'm going to select my roof, and then all of the columns are attached to the roof. So one thing to note is if this roof level changes, then all of the walls and columns will change with it. So if I change this to 4 meters and hit apply, all of the roof and columns adjust appropriately. So let's change that back to 3 meters. And as this isn't as detailed, I'm going to leave the cut condition for that roof at plumb cut, and all of these settings I will leave at default. One thing I want to add to this, however, is the standing seams that are seen in the video. If you haven't seen the first video of this tutorial series, make sure to check that out to give you an overview of this house in the Gambia. And while you're at it, make sure you like, comment and subscribe to this channel, as I've got more content coming for you guys. So what I'm going to do is select that roof, and then I'm going to select copy, and then I'm going to select paste, and then align to same place. So now I have 2 roofs on the same location in the project. So with that roof still selected, I'm going to select the roof in the drop down. Then I'm going to change that to sloped glazing. So this is going to form these standing seams. For that, I'm going to go to edit type, and then I'm going to change the curtain panel to be empty. And then for grid 1, I'm going to change that to fixed distance, and then let's leave that at 600 millimeters. And then I'm going to go down to the grid 1 mullions, and for the interior type, I'm going to also change that one to rectangular mullion 1, and then select OK. So all of the seams are now in place. I just need to adjust the positioning of one roof to match the other one. So the standing seams on the roof do not currently line up, so what I'm going to do is make them more cohesive. So I'm going to select the roof, and then I'm going to make sure that I adjust it on the left hand side. So I'm going to click this little configure grid layout button, and then I'm going to go to where it has the 1 in brackets. So this is referring to curtain grid pattern 1. And then you have two numbers here. You have the offset that you want to set it to, and then you also have the angle. We don't need to rotate this angle, so the one that we need to change is the offset. So what I'm going to do is change that incrementally until they line up. You can do this in a plan, but seeing as we are in the 3D view, I can do it quite quickly by just changing this number. Let's go to the top view. It looks like it needs a little bit more, so 170. And there you go, it needs 170, and that lines up all of the standing seams together. And that's our roof. So the next thing I want to do is adjust the profile for these mullions. So if I select one, I can go to edit type. So the first dimension we see here is the thickness, and that's going to determine the depth. So what I'm going to do is change that to 50 millimeters. And then the second set of dimensions is the width on side 2 and the width on side 1. So the curtain grid has a single grid line, and these dimensions are dictating how wide on either side of that grid line that this profile is set out to. So 25 mil on each side would equal 50 millimeters total. So what I'm going to do is downsize that, and I'm going to call that 15 millimeters on each side. So that will be 30 millimeters by 50 millimeters. And then I'm going to click apply, and that changes that. And then I'm going to click OK. So the next thing is to just adjust the height again. So I'm just going to select my roof, and then I'm going to go to the front view, and then I'm just going to adjust that by selecting the move tool, and then I'm going to move it up right there. So that's the standing seams done for that roof. If you did want to have a custom profile, you can do that too. So if you had the mullion selected, you can go to edit type, and then you can select a different profile that you've loaded into the project. Let's select OK on that one, and then let's move on to the next topic. And that's the end of this video. Make sure you stay tuned for the next and final episode for this 31 for 31, and I'll see you in the next one.